If you're drowning in debt and just don't know where to turn, help is available. Attorney Diana Long will help you get your financial situation resolved.
I'm Attorney Diana Long. I'm dedicated to helping hardworking folks just like you. Bankruptcy protection can help you get your financial life back in order, and I can show you how. If you're ready to stop the harassing phone calls and letters, I can help. Call me in Columbia at 442-8123 to schedule your free, no-obligation consultation.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends. This is Monday, it's December the 12th, and we're, about 12 days away from Christmas Eve. And this is the time of year when we like to think about giving. And many of us are out shopping and buying things for people. You don't know what to give them because they've got everything. I've got a friend with us today who is asking for assistance from each and every one of us. That's Major Kendall Matthews, Salvation Army.
Hi.
Good to have you here,
Good to
Major.
be here. Thank
now,
you.
This is kind of like we got 12 days before you pull the kettles off the street. This really is a very important time of year for the Salvation Army. And I was reading a report on different charities, and I was amazed at the Salvation Army how much of what you take in actually goes to helping people. It's like 96 or 97% of what we give to the Army is used directly to help other people, not in administrative.
That's correct. You know, here in mid-Missouri, that number is 85 cents. 85 cents out of every dollar goes towards direct services. So then there's 15% for administrative costs. You know, for my salary, which isn't much, or my allowance. It's not even called a salary. It's called an allowance that we receive and draw on every 2 weeks. But and then 100% of that stays in the community. That's what is the key. That if you give you know, $1, 85 cents of that goes towards food, shelter, and clothing. But then 100% of that stays right here in the community, which helps our community to stay self-contained and to be strong and vibrant, and clearly more bang or more program for your buck.
So how are things going as far as the fundraising and the bell ringing?
Well, you know, right now, with just a couple weeks to go, we're really still kind of sluggish. Our kettle volunteers right now have decreased, and we need to increase.
So you're looking for volunteers to ring the bell.
That's correct. We need volunteers, families, we need groups, we need individuals to come out and give 2 hours, give 4 hours, give 30 minutes. Give whatever time you can give, because when you give through ringing the bell, know that 85 cents out of every dollar
that you take in goes to
direct services. That's a key point,
Yeah.
because then people want to participate in an activity where it's going to be meaningful, substantial, and certainly beneficial to people who are in need.
And it's fun to do too.
Oh yeah.
About a week or so ago, James and I were ringing bells out at the Big Bass Pro Shop.
Right.
And it's cold. It's cold standing out there, but you warm your heart when people come up and drop some money in that kettle.
You know, people oftentimes, you know, will thank you for something you haven't even done, but yet you're out there ringing the bell, and they just assume you're ringing the bell, and you're connected to the work of the Salvation Army. And
Well,
they're
giving
there to thank you.
Yeah, by giving of your time. By giving of your time, you are, in a way, connected to the work of the Salvation Army.
That's true.
How much money are you hoping that you're going to bring in this season? And how much do you need to bring in?
Well, you know, we're hoping to surpass last year's goal. That's the goal, is to bring in $341,000.
What is your gut feeling here?
My gut feeling is that, you know, we'll be.
You got to be positive now.
I am. It'll be only by the blessing and miracle of God, and God's in the business of doing miracles every day, but we need Him to perform one for us with our bell ringing. but that we can bring in what we brought in last year, which was $334,000. Our hope is to bring in $341,000, but realistically, I think we can bring in what we brought in last year, $334,000.
Now, when people send in a check, when there are several mailings that go out from the Salvation Army, when they send in a check, does that go to the total for the bell ringing, or is it diverted to like the shelter or the harbor house or the meals?
Right. Well, you know, there are different line items when it comes to giving. You know, if you give a check and it has soup and shelter, well then people know that we have harbor house and they know that we feed there every day. That money would be delegated to those areas.
But does it still go into that grand total of what you're looking for this year?
It goes into other Christmas. So there is a kettle goal, there is a Christmas goal, there's a white male goal, white male, that's interesting, and then there's a other Christmas. So you have 5 different categories that fall under the whole line of this $341,000.
Okay.
So we add up.
So that's what your budget is. That's what you're budgeting, $341,000 for a year to help people that are in need in Central Missouri.
That's
now,
correct.
what happens if just by chance, but I think you're going to make your goal.
Yeah,
but what happens if you don't?
You know, if we don't make the goal, that will impact people. And not in a positive way, because we can only perform services where we have the fiscal fiduciary resources to be able to do that. If we don't have those resources, then instead of giving out 250 bags of food, we only give out 200 bags. Instead of doing 150 families for Christmas, we do 100.
Yeah.
And
well,
we don't want that.
No.
We want to be in a position to help as many people as we can during these tough economic times, because we know that this community is giving. We know that.
I've seen that for 42 years now, how giving the community is in Central Missouri. I think the folks in this area have the biggest heart that you will find anywhere.
Yeah, I would agree.
So if you're wanting to donate some time, along with some money, you can contact the Salvation Army. There's still time. You got 12 more days if you want to help bell ring.
12 days of Christmas.
Yeah,
you know, my true love said to me.
Or drop them a check, or drop some cash in the kettle.
Yeah.
What's the phone number?
It is 443-3229.
Okay, all right. Give them a call and volunteer to help do some bell ringing. Major, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Hey, I want you to come back next week, the last week before Christmas.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk a little bit more.
Absolutely,
okay?
Paul. Thank you.
You're welcome. Very important. Dave Mars will be on with us tomorrow. Our show directed by Travis McMillan of the Reynolds Journalism Institute, audio Pat Akers, KBIA, our floor director Eric Stazak, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator Uncle James Mauser. Bye-bye.